What's good? Welcome to an episode, of course, of Opinionated with yours truly. Of course, I am your host, Resla, and yeah, I know some of y'all out there and y'all having some really good day out there on this Saturday. For some people, it's a really good weather. Over here, it is pouring, and it has been pouring ever since like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I have not had a good Saturday, but hopefully yours is doing well. As far as everybody has their own, well, as far as things go, well, let's just start over here. Can you guys hear me properly? Because I want to make sure that I get things going in a proper fashion. So let's just start there. Because I've had a few things that I've had to keep resetting. So let's just make sure that we can all hear each other. We're all very coherent. Good. Good to know. So for today, as you guys know, when I get on these streams, especially when it comes to like the weekend, I'm always just doing a few things when I look at different people's channels, or I'm living my life, doing my own thing, or I look at particular topics and I'm looking up things to see what I can talk about. But mainly when I get onto a show, until we have something more settled and it becomes more produced, I should say, I like to pretty much just go and speak about the things that are going on through my mind. And just before even coming on, I was really considering a few things that I see throughout the internet, and it made me want to start writing about a few things. So I'm thinking about that for my next video. I was making videos earlier this week, which you will see getting posted up for next week. So that should be something, and hopefully you guys will like that. But at some point, with some of the questions that are going on through my head, I think it's something that we can start talking about for today, and then we can push forward with that to see if we can expound on that in the future. And one of the questions that were really going on through my head was, okay, let me just put this out there right now. For those of you who already know me, you know that I am not a blackity black. Now, I should give a little context when it comes to that. What do I mean when I say blackity black? Which means that I have no problem with uh, the black community um, becoming better and being more prominent when it comes to the next generations that are coming out, and being more accountable for their actions and being more responsible and building a stronger culture of things that are not considered to be founded in negativity, founded in the some of the worst things, right? I have no problem with that. With that being said, as far as me personally, as someone in this generation, I will not be pushing forward any particular efforts for me to try to aid in cleaning that up. I am one person and I can only do what I can for myself and try to be an example for others that want to look out for me. But I would in no way, shape, or form say that I am an example for anyone. The same way how I say that just because I am a black male, yes, uh, doesn't mean that the views and the way how I look at the entire world is simply based on the perspectives or someone who is black. I do a lot of communication. I do a lot of introspection, and I do a lot of empathizing when it comes to other people because other cultures also have their own dilemmas as well. But I was having a conversation with a couple of people, and they were black. They are black. I don't know if I were black. They are black, and I'm sitting there having this conversation with them, and it made me it made me really start thinking about the questions that was popping in my head when it comes to black people, and how we not only just see things in the culture, but also how we see ourselves, right? So there's definitely a bigger uh, conversation that's in play that doesn't get addressed. It just gets talked around, and things keep getting changed over time. And that's something I want to pull together a show on in the future, where we could have people that are actually up on a panel who can discuss these particular things and try to figure out exactly where, not only where we stand, but what's wrong with the entire question altogether, where we should probably make some strides to make changes. Because the problem is that I see a lot of how we move or how we're looked at collectively as as if you want to call the term that we have as African Americans, be that whatever is made. Um, but there is the take me as I am attitude. Unfortunately, if it was the take me as I was, I would be more in line with that. But the take me as I am, as we see ourselves today, not really looking to align with that. But that's not the main issue or the main topic that I was speaking about today. I was just going on to what was in my head for what I started writing down. Other things that I want to tackle on is the aspect of what we're doing when it comes to social media and something that I am going to dub as pander porn. Now, I said pander, not panda, because something that we see a lot in social media is the aspects of likes, follows, views. uh, Some of the most funny thing that we hear, but it reigns to be true even to this day, is the advent of the phone and just how much people are in love with their phone to the point where they will even video record their own demise. It could be a building coming down, crashing down on them, and they cannot help themselves but to hold up their device. What spurs that on? We have people who are, and I'll just say it straight up, they are executing people who they are having domestic issues with and going live with it. I'm thinking about the gentleman who basically had the problem with the baby mamas. We have people that are doing pretty much anything for, clicks and views, and they will put themselves in the worst light in order to feel like they, and I'll just say this, in order to feel like they're loved. It's just what it is. And it's always going to be false. So when you have people that are willing to go do anything that they can in order to have a particular view, ask the question, how far are you willing to go? Because the moment is like a lie that you keep covering up. If you're going to keep moving so far, then at some point in time, you're not going to be able to cover that up. You're going to have to just keep going. You can't find a conscience. You can't pretend now all of a sudden you have integrity. What else can you do about it? So I need to have a full outline put up. I'm gonna write I'm gonna write more about it, and I'm gonna really discuss what I'm thinking about when it comes to people who will do pretty much anything in order to gain recognition or even infamy. They will even take negative attention as long as they are being seen. It's it's the bad thing that we see about Hollywood, right? All, whether it's negative attention or positive attention, is all attention, and that's the thing that's matter. The most important thing is that someone is talking about you. And no, I'll be honest, I'd rather you disappear. I'd rather you disappear than me see you as a train wreck. And that's just the way how I look at that. So I will be doing something on that in the future. I have a question as well. It was a weird question that came up. And the question, this is sidebar, it's not in relation to this. But the side question that came up was really freaking, it was interesting, it was funny, and now I kind of want to know what your views are going to be in as well. So randomly, right? Say if you were facing a jail sentence, and to say the jail sentence was like 10 years, right? And you couldn't figure out what was going on. You knew that you didn't really have the right um, lawyer on your side or whatever. All evidence to the point at you, even though you could, maybe you were guilty of this, maybe you weren't guilty of this, but now you're facing a sentence of 10 years. Suddenly the judge comes in for the day of deliberation and they decide that all the charges are going to be dropped. and you're free to go. And here you are with your loved one, whether it is your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, and they are, of course, ecstatic of the fact that you were able to get the charges dropped. And after you leave the courthouse, you spend time with, say, your family and your friends. Of course, you're celebrating the fact that you were set free. You're spending all that time with your family and your friends. How you just dodged this, you know, bullet, and then you get at home, right? And as you walk through the door, very proud of the day that you're having, your partner closes the door behind you, and they have a confession. And their confession is that the reason why the charges got dropped was because they had to sleep with the judge. Got a question. Are you going to be willing to stay with them? And if no, why? Would you be willing to stay with that person who got you off, but they had to commit adultery in order to do so? The, and the question that goes to my mind is that considered being unfaithful? Or is that an immense amount of loyalty? When this question was popped up, it was so interesting the different viewpoints that I was hearing on it. And I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on it? Would you stay with the person who has literally put themselves out there in order to get you off? Not necessarily get you off, but to get you free. Would you stay with them? Because I was hearing some rather confusing answers. I thought this would be a slam dunk. But the things that I even heard someone say that they would have rather did the time. I shit you not. That's what they said. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, you are a fool. Absolutely 1000%. And when I was thinking about this, I was like, are we so much in ego that we're willing to forsake those who have even shown their supreme amount of loyalty around us? Would you even be mad at that person? What, what was that person supposed to do? Were they supposed to talk to you first before making the decision? If it was a split decision right then and there, why would you forsake them? But I can say, at least with the 3 people that I was having this conversation with, 2 of them said that well, one of them said it was a no, one of them said it was yes, and the other one was kinda like, kinda leaning on the no, but won't necessarily say. I'm trying to understand that logic. I and as the people who might be thinking you wouldn't, you would absolutely be mad, you would rather try to fight, you would have rather hear the deliberation even though it wasn't necessarily in your favor, that you're absolutely upset with the fact that they have forsaked you for whatever reason, then what exactly are you looking for when it comes to real trust, real honesty, and real loyalty? It's just a question. It's a little food for thought because I thought it was very, very interesting what I was listening to. And are we so much in ego for those particular people that you are willing to throw away your life? And let me say why I say you're throwing away your life. Because the one thing you can never get back is time. Time. There are people who are doing extreme amount of punishments in the prison system, and I think that time is the most important factor. I don't know. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. I don't know the person's history like that, but maybe they're accustomed to the prison lifestyle. So maybe it doesn't bother them. But I think my freedom, even if I was accustomed to being there, I would still rather be free. I would still rather know that I can touch grass away from prison gates. But that's just me. So, and for me, period, I would see that as an ultimate test of loyalty. I would. I agree, OG. I agree. But so the guy who I was who I was speaking with, he didn't see it that way. And again, I am not a person who will try to sway you from your opinion. Even though I put out my points, I was just like, wait, do you not see that as loyalty? And he just didn't see it that way. Yeah, she was with me or whatever, but nah, I can't. And I realized the reason why. And they were too busy in their own head that they didn't even realize the things that I had said beforehand. Again, that person was let off of jail. They spent time with their family and their friends. And never was a time that anyone else say, this is what your girl did for you. This is what your man did for you. It was a secret literally held now between that person and the mofo that dropped the charges, the judge. So that means the only people that's willing to keep that secret is you and them. And most of all, because this was something else that he said, man, even if they did that, they should have just kept it to themselves. Should have took that shit to the grave. Is your partner not supposed to confide in you? And I'm pretty sure that that person didn't tell you because they were one upping you. Look what I did for you. She said, I hopped on that D to get you out. I'm gonna hold this over your head for as long as we together. Pretty sure that's not the way it is. I'm pretty sure this person told you because they didn't want to keep the weight of that because I thought honesty was very important in relationships. But we will literally say things like, there are some things that if you do it, I just rather not know. I'm just wondering what you would think of that situation. I'm thinking on a normal person's level, this is something that I can forgive. And I know everybody's very big on cheating, but is it cheating? Is it? And I think that's the question we need to ask too. I didn't even ask that question. Is it cheating? If they're doing it to get you off, is it cheating? If they're doing it for your benefit, as crazy as it sounds, is it cheating? Let me know what you think. Is it cheating? Raven said, one night versus 10 years of freedom? Not a, not a question. I would think it's no question. Really? Really? It is? It's cheating? God, can you explain? It's cheating? I mean, again, the rules were set against you. So who really played the game right? Uh, And I thought cheating, and I'll even put it this way: I thought it was cheating only if you get caught. This person confessed, and they did it for your benefit. Is it really cheating? Well, if you have that opportunity, Kai, I'm willing to hear. I'm willing to hear your point of view on it. Absolutely, because I find that interesting. I want to know why it would still be considered cheating. Okay, but CCD, that's the question though. Why is it cheating? This person wasn't hiding anything. So why do we call it cheating? This person wasn't behind your back doing whatever. They made a sacrifice. The same sacrifice that you would think that everybody would want to make. Not necessarily just because it's a sexual aspect, but you would think that your partner would want to do things for your own well-being. Because think about it this way: if you were in a situation where you were locked up, right? Obviously, you don't have access to your bank statements to be able to bail yourself out. Someone else has to do that for you. And what if you didn't have that money and she pulled out her own money in order to get you out? And you say, where you get that money from? Well, I was saving some money on the side or whatever. Is that a form of cheating? And again, made her own personal sacrifices. He or she made their own personal sacrifices to get you out of a bind. Is that cheating? It's just a question. I'm interested to know. Hey, Kai.
Hey,
Hey,
can you hear
Kai.
me?
I can hear you.
All right, we're both in the car. We're on 95.
Could you explain why do you feel it is still cheating?
Because they didn't come to the decision together. If one person makes that decision, regardless of who knows about it and who doesn't, you still know about it, and you know that you gave the ass to someone else.
Mm,
Like you know about it, and the person that you slept with knows about it.
hmm
Therefore, you're are the people married or are they just boyfriend girlfriend? Like, what's the deal?
it could be either
It's
or.
still cheating because it's still cheating, but I think it's more so if they're married, or not a new relationship type of thing, not a couple months thing or whatever. They're actually creating a life together, live together, whatever. Um, but I think that they, yeah, yes, like 100%. Because if you think about it, there are plenty of cheaters out there that the other person doesn't find out about it until ever or later or whatever. They're still a cheater. It's still
So
cheating whether the person knows about it or not.
cool.
You're
So
still a cheater and you know it.
Kai, what don't we constitute cheating as someone who is doing something that is immediately looked at as a flag and they're hiding it? Because cheaters tend to get caught. They don't tend to admit right up front. But then again, on top of that, if this was if I'm going back to the scenario, there's only but so much time that you can actually see the actual other person, the other spouse, the partner, because they're in a county lockup or whatever. And this was a split decision that had to be made by them. Were they supposed to wait to when the deliberation was coming down
Yes,
by the judge?
because that person did the crime. So you know what? It's not on me. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. But it's not on
Interesting.
me to correct your mistake. I don't care what you did. You did it. And if you didn't, well
Very
then
interesting.
fight it in. I can fight with and for you, together or whatever the case may be. But I'm not giving up the ass to. Are you crazy? Because in reality, when you look at that situation, if it's a bad situation, whatever the case may be, um, if that person's going away, well, it depends on what they did. But that's kind of all you have left is your relationship, and it better be strong if one of them is going to be away for a long time or whatever. But you just got to go and lower yourself to go do something like that.
But you're sleeping with either the attorney, the prosecutor,
I know,
or the
I
judge.
know, and that's
Mm.
not my problem. In
Not
reality,
your
that's not
problem.
my problem.
So, but let me understand this. But so for one of the people that I was speaking with, they said if anything, they're looking to think that they're going to make that relationship stronger because not many people are
Now,
willing to make that sacrifice at all.
who are these people? Is that a female
I
saying
mean, it
that?
depends on if they make the decision together, right?
Okay, yes. Okay, if they make, because you remember that movie, now I don't remember the name of it, but it was like, was that Demi Moore? I can't
Yes, it
remember.
was
Was it?
shit where they slept with
Yeah, for $1 million or something like that, and they
yeah,
came to the decision together. I mean,
but they ended up breaking them up anyway.
yeah, it broke them up because you are that it's the same way I think about like a threesome situation, anything like that. You are allowing something, whether it's someone or something, into your most inner circle, and it never works unless
Interesting.
you know those people are going into this. Both people are going equally into the same situation or relationship, however you want to look at it, with the exact same mindset. So in this situation, if they have a conversation, hey, I can do this
Throw that ass in a circle for the prosecutor.
and get you and
Wait, hold up. Are you saying that couples are sitting there having an early conversation and saying, well, if I ever wind up in a situation like that, I need you to throw that ass in the
that's not what
circle?
I meant. No, I meant if I just wasn't judging the situation. If the people are in that situation and the opportunity presents itself and the
Hmm.
two of them have a conversation and they both agree, yeah, let's do this.
Okay,
But if
Kai,
one
let me set the stage like this. Let me set the stage like this. Kai, imagine for whatever reason you're the one that's sitting in the hot seat. You've had your attorneys and everything is just not working out.
yeah,
Tom has been trying to do everything on his part. It's just not working. Again,
no,
the day
no,
before your sentencing,
I'm already
the
gonna say
day
no.
before your sentencing,
Nope,
it's like, yo, like we try everything. Tom,
no,
like he ready to punch people in the mouth. He's like, yo, we're trying everything. We have to just
no,
hope for the best. We
nope.
ran
You
the
better
best
hold it.
we
No,
could, and then
you better hold
then
it down at home.
Tom gets a call that night while
Nope,
you were in county lockup because now you can't take calls. It's late at night,
nope,
and she's like, you know what, Tom, we need to talk about this deliberation. Usually I don't
no,
call, but
no.
we
I'm
need to
not cool with it.
expedite this process if you wish to have your
Uh-uh.
wife free.
You know what? I did whatever I did to
Are you going
myself.
to be King Dingling for that night to get the princess out of jail?
Of course not.
You gonna pound the pavement to make sure that your woman's out of jail?
Of course not. Send her ass to lockup. That means I can have a whole bunch of bitches on the outside. What we doing? She going to jail. She going
What,
to take her ass to
what
jail.
did I do to get there? I obviously did something to get there. Therefore, it's my fault. And if we've done everything we could to rectify the situation, and then you know what? That's the way it is. And I expect him to hold it down at home, and that's just how it happened. And we'll whatever the case may be. I don't know what the crime is, but whether you can appeal or whatever the process is, hell no, do I want him for no, no,
Not even a
because
one night.
that would
Damn.
take away 20 something years of, in my mind, that takes away 20 years of hard work and of a marriage, all down to the fact, very basic bottom line fact, that I did something that landed me in that position.
I
And
wouldn't
I
hold
do
it
not
against you though.
expect him to do that.
So
I wouldn't hold it against you though.
okay, so Tom, I like the fact that you said that, and there's something that I want to address in what you said as well, Kai. So before that, before you, Tom, Kai, something you said was that you feel like you would be throwing away 20 something years away versus the one thing
Right.
that needs to be a sacrifice, and therefore you would still have the extra. You would have 30 now because that's still time to being free. Versus now you have been taken away out that situation from potential growth, and on top of that, now you feel like you've lost what you've already built. How does you square that circle?
I didn't understand the question.
So what
You
you're
don't
saying is
like
that
my answer.
no, no, it's not about me not liking your answer. I'm asking the question because one thing you said is that you've already built some time with your husband, and
Uh-huh.
basically that you've already had a considerable amount of time. But now that because you have to be in this situation, he's not allowed to. He's not allowed to basically do something, even though it's considered that extreme, in order to get you off and out of that situation. You would say that you basically forsake the years that you already had beforehand, rather than still having some years with him still yet left?
I think what it is that we put so much emphasis on the sexual aspect of the relationship that to fathom your person or your person or partner with someone else is such an extreme thing. Even though it technically, like if you think about most situations now, most of us was never virgins when we got together to begin with. But to
True.
fathom your person with someone else is just not right, and it's an automatic disqualification of whatever y'all have done before, or whatever after, whatever. So I mean, I get the way they're saying, but I also get the way you're saying too. Because to me, in that situation, to get her off, man, shit, me, it's different for me than it would be. Now, would I want my wife to do it? Fuck no, bitch, they're my titties. But I mean, I understand her. I understand both ways, but I just think it's that nowadays people just put so much on. Well, puts. See, the funny thing is, they don't put sex as number one in their relationship, but when it comes to having to use it in a way that, like we're saying right now, it is deemed number one. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. And what
So
about you in reference to that? Would you be okay with her making that sacrifice?
hell no! I just told you them my titties, goddammit.
So okay, it's very interesting, especially when I think about how people speak about relationships, because one of the things they never really bring up, while sex is in fact important, but a lot of people, when I end up speaking with them, they don't mention the sexual aspect. They make it seem as if sex will take a should take a back seat to companionship.
I know. That's what they say.
Also, don't forget.
But when it comes to infidelity, oh my God.
Also, don't forget that if they do that, then that means whichever person is out, right? That same day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're standing together, knowing that hours before that somebody else was smashing your partner.
Well, the scenario happened way later, because when you get out of prison, everybody wants to celebrate the fact that you've been free. Your family, your friends. You get to get the barbecue, you get some drinks. This is when they got home. Is when the partner told them, like, listen, this is what happened. I know it was a freak thing that all of a sudden the judge changed their mind, but they didn't. Or
and I had to motherfucking go against the grain and do something that I normally wouldn't do to make sure my boo was free. I got you, Resla.
I'm not doing it.
Or as the gentleman I was speaking with, who said otherwise, would you just basically have to keep it to yourself and keep it to the grave and just say, I don't know, baby, I don't know why that freak accident happened. The judge just had to change your mind. And if now you're deciding
to be honest with you, most people, I think most people will take that shit to the grave.
No, I think females would run their mouth. Look what I did.
Oh yeah, that's a horrible female.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
That would be a horrible female.
Yeah,
but would I understand? Technically, I wouldn't like it. But if I was facing 10 years and I had to do that shit day for day, oh my God. And she did it.
That's a rough question.
I can't be too mad because, like you said, all we got is time, and we don't never know when our time is ended. So I can see it both ways.
Yeah. I see it both ways. It's just
but do you want it? Do you want the fucking it to play out like that? Fuck no. You want your lawyer to motherfucker do what they got to do to get you off. But if I don't know till later, I mean, I can't be mad. I'm already free. I mean, what am I gonna beat your ass because you did it? Nah, I'd be like, you know what? Me personally, as a grown ass man, be like, you know what? You wasn't a virgin when I met you. I may not like it, but we got more time, and I'm not gonna harp on the shit. But that's
very interesting perspective.
I
Very
don't think I would harp on
I
it.
do.
You think I would harp on
No,
it?
I think that you want to think that way, but the overriding factor is your constant mind reminding you that somebody else was smashing. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be a subconscious thing that would keep happening.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
not like something you control necessarily. It's something that would just be there. Every time somebody said, "Oh, you're free" or whatever, that's the first thing that would come to your mind. Is that's why.
So what
Yes.
I have from Miss Raven says, sex is not number one. Faithfulness, loyalty is. It's not the act, but the emotion that's behind it.
But it wasn't no emotion behind it because the simple fact is you're doing it to get you off. So her emotion was in the right place to get you off. And anyway, if you think about it, if you want to say sex is not the ultimate, is not number one, then her emotions to make sure she was home is number one. So you shouldn't be mad at what she did or he did to fucking get you off because, right, sex was not number one. So the act of her giving fellatio to some other dude or him eating the box out wouldn't be a problem to you in that
Well,
situation.
well, her point was that sex is not number one. So she said the faithfulness and the loyalty, that's the part that was very important. And I think it's that faithfulness and that loyalty, which is why they went forward with the act. Because if sex was number one, then you or Kai, whoever else in the situation, will be doing the time.
Um, I look at it different. If sex is not
Sorry, you cut out there for a moment.
do what you gotta do to make sure you're always with it. Okay, yeah,
Gotcha.
because we're going probably. Uh, I would say if that's the case, if sex is not number one, like we all say, being loyal to someone is to make sure that nothing, no commerce as well. Loyalty
Okay.
has a swath of different ranges. It's not just, oh, I'm going to be by your side for the rest of your life. Loyalty has a lot more to it than just we can kick it together for the rest of our lives. Because that's pretty much what people think of loyalty. That's, to me, that's not what loyalty just is.
Hmm.
Because
Interesting.
keeping you out of jail, because, okay, think about this. What do they say about snitches? You ain't being loyal. You ain't down for the team. You ain't this. You ain't that. Why?
Yep.
Because you just sent someone else up the road just like you. You snitched on your homie. So loyalty, what is do what you got to do to make sure that person stay home, no matter the situation.
I
So
agree.
if loyalty is number one, then you gonna do what you got to do to get him out. And sex is not number. Sex. She didn't even say the sex was number two. So in that case, you gonna do what you got to do to make sure your dude, your wife, your whoever is gonna stay home with you for the time. That's
So
how I
I
look
guess
at it.
I guess Zoomer is gonna go to jail because he said sex is like oxygen. It's number one at all times. All times.
I mean, I hear it. I hear, like I said, it depends on how you look at it, right? Because married people say sex is not number one, and I will say, over the years, sex doesn't become number one in your relationship because motherfuckers get tired. Motherfuckers don't want to do shit. Just old, and you have other things to live for. So we say that then, but then again, when it comes back down to it, sexual loyalty will become number one.
Mm,
Not sex by itself. It's sex and loyalty together. Because
I agree.
if you step out, that shows you're not loyal. You're doing something to break up the thing. And I get it; they coincide together. But we'll see. I mean, it's a good scenario to play with. I
Well,
thought
this
it
is
was
what happened
interesting.
when. Well, this is what happened when you talk with people and they end up bringing sex into it, and I have to turn around and to destroy it. As you know, we talk a lot in these damn chats about these damn relationship shit. So I thought that was a good way to throw that nail in that coffin, but I didn't expect the nail to get thrown back out when I heard the kind of response that I did. So I thought it
So,
was
what
a
were the
good thing.
main responses?
Well, so we have one that said he absolutely uh he would take his girl, he would keep her. He's like, that's the ultimate sign of loyalty. He said, if anything, that would really strengthen their relationship
That's
because now he
yeah.
now he
That's what I'm
knows for
saying.
sure that there's nothing that she wouldn't do. There's nothing that she wouldn't do. Like he knew right then and there that was basically his Bonnie right
Hmm.
there. Now the other one, they were kind of like me. They were just like, well, I see. They were really there was a really good conversation, kind of like how uh, you, Kai, and myself were just having. And then the other one, he was just like, nah, man, that none of that shit. Da, 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 da. She do that. She a hoe. She for the streets. I'm like, she just got you out. You're literally
Yeah.
standing in your living room or whatever. You gonna just toss it to the side now? I
Well,
was like,
that shows that
interesting.
he
Tell
was,
me more.
but that would show
He
that he
hasn't
wasn't
committed
loyal.
crime.
He wasn't loyal to her. That's what that shows.
Right. And, I was even trying to piece it to say, okay, well, what if she's not your girlfriend and she's your wife? And it was the same thing for him because he was like, man, for all if she's willing to do all that, this was the crazy part. If she was willing to do all that, there would be no difference if I was in the pen because she could still be sleeping behind my back
That's
while
a
I'm
fact.
locked up.
That's true.
I mean,
And
that's
I was
true.
just
That's
like,
why I said that's why I laughed at before. I said, "Fuck it. If she don't want me to do it, then she gonna go to jail, and I be fucking bitches anyway." You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna have no eyes on me if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Because again, there's ways that men look at sex versus women, and it is
yeah,
true. Men don't really. The bitch could be butt ass ugly with the fupa that we're seeing at the little bitch with the pink hair the other day on the balloon pop. Motherfuckers will go fuck that hoe, won't think two goddamn shits about it in the next hour after they leave. But they would do it. I don't know why, but they would. So to say that, you know, to me, if it was to get her home, hell yeah, I'm down to do it because that ain't shit to me. And she come home, and we could continue on doing what the fuck we were doing beforehand, before whatever the fuck happened. Because don't forget, some of these trials take years.
that's true. That's
So
true. So CCD says at Resla, now, after all that, after almost 24 years of marriage, my wife would smile and tell the judge, no, but I get it. I'm hard to live with.
I
Oh my
expect
God.
I expect a woman to motherfucking say no because they look at it differently.
And a woman, you're inserting something in her. A man,
Yeah,
you're not.
Interesting.
that's true too.
I don't know. It just came to my head.
Very interesting. All right. So listen, this is something that apparently I will need to expand upon because now I'm hearing at least more of a lineup between, a good 50-50 on it now. So it's very, very interesting.
So what you
Yep.
saying? A woman gets dominated at all costs, and a man doesn't?
Wait,
Yeah.
Because a woman is, I mean,
Yeah.
a man has a demanding position, and a woman doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think it's different.
I mean, it is different. I agree with you. I
I have
wouldn't
to think about that
expect you
one.
to do it. I wouldn't expect you to do it, but if you were to take that to the grave and never say nothing to me, and I'm at home, and
Let's put it a different way. Say the scenario happens. You're
Mhm.
the one going to prison, and they come and say that scenario, and I tell you, and you're like, can you do that though? You're going to do that for me, right? I have to seriously think about it. Do I want to? Absolutely not. Would I ever do it? With, where somebody sent it to me and you didn't know about it, would I ever do it? No. But if you said to me, I need you to do this, or whatever the case may be, I would really have to think about it because that's a different scenario than going and doing it behind somebody's back, whatever. That's you asking something of me that is huge, and you already know that because you know me, and you know that my first answer is no, hell no. Are you crazy? But if you asked me, that's different to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I imagined if Tom was going to ask you that, like prison must be like World War Z. They
It
gotta
would
be
be a
eating each other in
it
there.
would be a really big deal. If he asked me, it would be
He gotta be
I
like, yo,
think
it would
I
the
be a
need you to do
really
this. They eating each other in here. Like I'm trying to get ate. Like I need you to do
yeah.
this for me.
listen. The only thing changed on the male side is if it was a male judge and then he had to get pegged. I'd be like, oh nope, nigga, you
Oh,
gotta go to
mm,
jail. You gonna have to sit that out, dog.
interesting.
Hey, you gonna have to sit down. So
Interesting.
I see. Listen,
Come on, baby, you're gonna have to kick in the ass real quick.
no sir. No.
I would never ask him.
Hey, yo, son. You want your wife at home, kid? Huh? Huh? Hey, King. You want your wife?
No, not King. I'm done with you guys.
You want your wife at home? That should be. It's an interesting conversation, wrestler.
Well, like I said,
Because some people will do it, and that, to
some
include
people would.
men.
Some people would.
And
Like I
I,
said,
and
it
I, and,
doesn't
and I
matter
would call
what it is.
bullshit on a lot of people that say they wouldn't do it. I call bullshit because it's a hard fucking time to do 10 years. And then you think about it, oh, she wouldn't do it. Guess what? She might be out there fucking on someone else anyway.
Yeah, that's true too.
Well,
So
I mean,
I can
you look at
always
the way
see his ways.
look at the way how Kai said as well. Because now that I think about it, what if she says she's not doing it right, and you're
Mhm.
on the line. If the woman is saying that she's not doing it, her guy's life on the line. She the same way how she said she wouldn't look at it, the same way how Kai phrased it, I'm thinking about it someone separate now. But if the phrasing is basically like I wouldn't do it because I threw away the other parts of my life, for that person being locked up, she might be looking at it that same way. Like I'm not gonna do it, but damn, I threw away years of my life with this guy because he's gone now. So it's weird. It works both in both ways. You know,
Mhm.
hmm,
It's a
interesting.
troubling scenario.
Yeah.
That's shit
There's
me.
no winning answer in that scenario.
No, it depends on what you consider winning. It depends on what you
Some
consider
people,
winning.
right. Some people are willing to get by that and they can consider that a win.
Yeah, because you know me, I ain't going to jail. So being at home is way more important to me than sitting in the motherfucking jail cell. So
Being
a win is
productive.
a win. Yeah. And to me, I think it just like the scenarios you put up there. A lot of men will have to actually sit there and actually did have to deal with the decision that was made, with
Right.
you or without you. You're still
And
gonna have to deal with that situation.
you can't throw it on that person. If you made that decision with them,
Yeah,
you can't throw it back at them. You can't.
yeah.
You have to be
But
willing to
you know,
accept that. But I think if that's the case, because the more I think about the situation, the more I look at it this way. That there should be a heavier conversation for people who have decided that they're going to start coupling together about what could be long-term ramifications in a relationship. And even if they
mm,
just the crazy scenarios, uh, it really tells you about one, the person's mindset that you're dealing with, but also the the level of the level of loyalty that they're willing to go. The only
mm-hmm,
bad part about the situation is that opinions change, feelings change,
yeah,
priorities change. So
yeah. Because you hear most like what I've been hearing in these YouTube streets
mm,
more than anything is that women much rather be mothers than wives.
mm,
So in that case, they wouldn't do it for the motherfucker as long as they had their child. And we'll see you on the other side. We'll see you on the flip side, nigga. And she out there doing something that she wanted. She still take. She her main priority was her children to begin with. She don't give a fuck about being a wife, or that's not high on their role that they want to play.
Interesting.
Just like,
Hey, OG, the panel is open. Yes.
but I think that's interesting. I would much rather hear it from a young person than us old niggas, because I think it's gonna be different for young people. So I think it would be like that bitch better do that shit, and then what happens? They gonna be out. Like fuck that. That bitch got me out. I gotta go find me another one. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You gonna throw her away after? Nope. Now I don't want you.
Cause think about that shit, man. I ain't love these hoes in the first place.
That's crazy.
I, I don't know. I was thinking.
Well, I mean, thanks for you guys giving your perspective on it. It was, like I said, it was something I was really thinking about, and it was just funny to hear a take on it. So when I saw Kai was like, "Yeah, it's cheating," I'm like, "Oh, I need to hear what's this." But she makes a sound case, so I can't really say much about that. It coming to the stage. What's good, OG? How are you? And oh, I have another question that was popping up in my head. But OG, did you wanna comment on the situation I posed earlier?
Yeah. Uh yeah, man. If it was me, bro, I was gonna tell him, man, you come on home, take that shower, dog. You be straight. Long as I'm at the house, bro, I wouldn't even be tripping. Like I say, it's different for me, bro, because I see what y'all saying from both sides, bro. If it's, you know what I'm saying, if you married and if it's just your girlfriend. But to me,
Mhm.
I'm with you, Resla. I think there's loyalty that somebody will try to come and get you out like that, and especially go through that act, bro, because like I said, that can fuck up your whole relationship. That's basically what Kai was basically saying. You know what I'm saying? Like you giving a part of you away. But again,
Mhm.
I'm kind of with Tom. Everybody is making good points, bro, because I'm not tripping. I know you got bodies before you even got with me. So I'm not that type of dude, bro, that's gonna be tripping to say what old boy said, like if he was in jail, she probably already cheating and then all this shit here, bro. To me, them are
Yeah.
insecure people. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you already in your head already. You a type of person that'll fab it if she go to the store and be gone for 30 minutes, she didn't fuck somebody. So you one of them to me, you one of them weird type of dudes. Like, yeah, I don't trip on that type of shit. Some shit is just some shit add up, bro. When motherfuckers cheat on you, it's easily known, bro, that they cheating on you, bro. It ain't nothing too hard not to find out. I mean, shit, I've been a cheater in my life, but I don't cheat no more. So I know what to do, bro. I know how shit goes. So I wouldn't trip on shit like that. And if she did something like that for me to get out of jail, bro, just don't tell. I'm like, Tom, bro, just don't tell me about it. Keep that shit a secret. But if you do tell me about it, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm through with you. Get out my house. Give me my key. Like, nah, bro. That's just gonna
So I
chop that shit up to the game.
so let me ask this real quick. Do you So if she holds it to herself, right? How long is she expected to hold on to? Because that's a weight that not everybody's willing to carry. Because shame is a big thing for some people. That still, I know we like to shame is diminishing across the world now, but some people still hold on to shame, especially if you let's just say you've had a really good relationship with your woman, and she is the type that's being vocal and very honest because she believes it's important. But now this is one thing, and it's a big thing. It's not a small thing, but now she has to keep it and carry that weight. How
Okay.
how much how much pressure do you think that's gonna hold on her?
It's gonna hold a lot. That's what I'm saying. If it was mine, I would want her to go ahead and tell me because I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? To
Mhm.
me, bro, look, the person who's telling it, they gonna be relief, but the person who's receiving it is the person that's gonna have the actions about it. They gonna be the ones upset, you know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
ones feeling some type of way. Me personally, I wouldn't trip on that, especially after I found out you just made this sacrifice because you didn't have to do that shit, but you got me out. So I'm like I said, it makes me go back to what you said, bro. To me, that's loyalty, bro, because I understand what you did, but you did it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and like you said, bro, time to me, time is worth more, bro. I'm not trying to sit in jail, bro, and lose my time with my family. You know what I mean? I'd rather be out here in the free world doing everything I can do to prosperous and make myself better, including them. So I don't want to be locked up, bro, and they out here struggling. Like, nah, bro, they need me out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's no way, bro, that I would want her to hold that in. I would want her to tell me. I'm just saying for some men, it's example like you gave about that one dude. He wouldn't want his woman to tell him, bro, because he already in his head thinks she already cheating. She left 5 minutes ago and then come back until 2 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? This nigga, he tripping. He flipped it out. Nigga, he ready to knock her head off. That type of shit. That's a different type of man than what I am.
Mm,
I don't trip on certain shit like that. I know people and I got friends that do, you know what I'm saying? Like friends that's married, bro, that he don't they gotta be buddy buddy because they have infidelity problems, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a cheater, she was a cheater. Now they 7, 8 years in, bro, and only thing they do now is be around each other because they can't trust each other to go nowhere. To me, that's not a relationship, bro. Like that shit is fucking weird to me, bro. Like you got to be everywhere this motherfucker go, no matter what this motherfucker doing. Nigga, he could be pissing, nigga. You got to stand out there at the woman's door while he coming out the man's. Like, bro, that
oh
shit is weird
no.
to me, fam. So, like, sometimes people got to just, you know what I'm saying? They got to know their partner, bro. And I know mine, so I wouldn't trip on that type of shit.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to move on to a different segment. There was a question that came up, and I know something that we in particular have had a conversation with before, but I'm a little bit changing the aspects of the question, and it's the first part of it is a two-part question. So it's like, do do you believe that America should have should make English the official language of the land? And as a divergent change, how well do you think that will benefit cultures that are here? Will that help shape and make the American culture better if we had an official language? Because I think part of the thing that we have going on is that there's this divisiveness that happens because we don't really have an official language. So there's no need to stress that people need to learn English, even though it is the common language of the land. But as Tom eloquently puts it, and it's very important, officially, we don't have English as an official language. It is the standard, but it's not literally put into the law that it is the official language of the land. So, do we believe that if we can make English the official language of the land, how do you believe it might help or hurt in shaping the nation's culture? OG, you can go first on that one.
All right. Well, I thought about this. I had a thought of it. Thought about this like a year ago, bro.
Hmm?
When I think I heard Tom and them talking about, you know what I'm saying, different people coming over here and shit when I first came over to the porch. And my thought was at first, bro, that everybody needs to learn English. But the problem is from what I'm learning so far and about politics and about the government and how these laws and stuff work, bro, it's an implement problem that we have. So I'm gonna give you my answer. My answer is yes. I think they should make it the standard. The problem for me is saying that, bro, is I don't think they would implement it. That's the thing. Because you're gonna first of all, you're gonna go against culture. Because you're trying to make it your new culture. Because the culture right now is for everybody to be in their own. It's a subsection of cultures. It's not just one big thing. We put a lot into one. So then you trying to change somebody's religion. They might be Muslim. They, you know what I'm saying? They want to speak their own language. And that's the
Hmm.
problem I think that we're gonna run into in here. But I think everybody should speak just a general language here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should be able to speak English. If you don't speak English, then you know what I'm saying, I don't think you should be here. But again, got to throw the butt in there. It's just not going to be implemented like that. Some people is going to get leeway passes, bro. That's just how the world works. They always giving people these passes, and for some of us, we don't see it that way. Like me, I don't see passes in a way. I feel like you got to work for it, and if it's a law that you have to buy by, fuck it, you got to buy by it. You can't go against it. But other people, it's different. You know what I'm saying? They get away with certain type of shit. What do you
Well,
think about that?
I look at it this way, and I've held this point before, and I said it. I've always had an issue because this is just even me growing up. When a person can come to the United States and they're not visiting, it's one thing you come here as a tourist. Maybe your English is not as good, or maybe you don't really know it, but you want to see the American sites. You don't really understand English, and you're just hoping that someone might be able to speak the language. I get that. We are a tourist. It's a short time thing, so that's cool. But when you are officially a part of a family, when you are considered a resident, whether you are living, whether you have someone you just recently married and maybe they're the ones that speak English, or you don't, or say you are pulling a relative from another country, if they are now being counted as a resident, as an extra person that needs to get put on taxes or put literally as a part of the census, as a part of your household, I don't understand why someone who, and I'll make the point again. Sorry if I'm going to be pointing out anyone's particular ethnicity, but there's no way that you should come here and say you've been here for like 20 odd years. You have children, and your children have children, and you don't know a lick of English, and all you do is watch, because all you've ever done is watch Telemundo. There should be a requirement to make sure that you are an English speaking person. There's no way that, say, the Con Ed bills show the freaking Con Edison or whoever, the light man, whatever comes and knocks on your door because everybody else who's an English speaking person has left the house to go take care of the house, and you're the only person that's there. You're probably a well-able individual, and yet when you open the door, the only things coming out your mouth is no speak English. That's an issue. Because if a serious situation was happening, if the building that you happen to have been in was condemned, all this other stuff, you have no way to interpret that.
I'm agree with you. I don't care if it's Consuela or Sheen Sheen Sheen. I need you to speak English, right? Because we're making up all these laws and everything, and we don't even have a law of the land for what we speak. Is stupid because you go to any one of these other countries, they have a language that you must speak. Now, that's not saying you can't speak more than one language. That's just saying that you need to know the English the language of the land.
I agree.
You know, and even
and that's the problem. I ain't mean to cut you off, brother, but that's what
go ahead.
Before you take up, OG. Hey, hello, Mama. How's everything going? I can't really hear you. I don't know if you're muted.
It's good.
All right, awesome. I just want to welcome you in real quick. I want to get OG's point, and then I'll come right to you.
Okay.
So, OG.
I'm cool.
All right. So it's basically, Tom, what you just said. I agree with everything that you just said, brother. But you threw something in there that is why I threw them butts in there. You said knowing it's okay for you to know them other languages. That's the problem, bro. See, you thinking the same way I was thinking, bro. About a year ago when this came to my head, bro. I believe everybody should speak English no matter what, fam. If you here, you're working. If you here, you're living you got an apartment, a house, whatever. You got land on this space in the United States, fam. Everything should come out your mouth should be English. Now, when you sit there and say, "Oh, it's okay for you to speak the mother languages," that's the problem.
No.
Fam. You got to put your foot down on that shit because that's when the other politics come in too.
Here's what I'm saying. The law of the land should be English spoken at all time. When you conversing with someone to get something done, it should be in English.
I agree.
But that's not saying that when you live in another country that you don't know other languages. Most people outside of America know 3 and 4 languages, but the main one they speak is where they're at. So it just depends, and that's what I'm saying about here in America. You're here in America, so everything should be conversed in English. But that's not saying you can't speak to your Guatemalan friend or Xi Jinping over here.
Xi Jinping.
You know, the little Mandarin. I'm not saying not hell, I want to learn Mandarin. Don't get me wrong, but I want to know. The thing is, we should have a fucking language, and to not have one shows the inconsistencies of America. And they want to say, "Oh, we're a land of immigrants." No longer are we a land of immigrants. That's the stupidest thing ever. We have been done with that shit long time ago, but we're still holding this country to that. Every other country that moved on from that, but we're the only one that hasn't. This is
I
insane.
agree with that. I believe that we are no longer a land of immigrants. I do believe that we are still a land of opportunity. But Mama, what was your point you were going to make?
I agree with pretty much everything all of y'all are saying. You're making good points. The point I wanted to make was the language of a country is tied to the culture of the country. And the language of the people are tied to their culture. What is the first thing we did when we conquered the American Indian? We took their language away. And in taking their language away, we took their culture away. They're now in a process of learning how to speak those languages again, so they can reclaim a lot of the culture that they had that has been forgotten. So one example that I like to use, because y'all know I lived in Alaska for a long, long time. Alaskans, the Alaskan Native culture has like 157 different words for snow. And while we just think of snow as the white fluffy stuff that falls down from the sky and creates havoc for our lives, they used different descriptions for snow. You know, there's the powdery stuff that you can get out and you can get a long way from home in, and it's easy to get back home because the snow blows away. And then there's the icy kind that you get out and you can freeze to death in and never get home. You know, so, and then they have the religion is tied up in a lot of their words and that sort of thing. So to me, I think English in this country should be the number one expected language. For a lot of the same reasons, a lot of our words describe things that they may not necessarily have in other countries, but we have here. They also describe our laws. So if you don't have a good understanding of the English language, then how are you going to be able to learn our laws, our customs, our history? That's kind of where I'm going with that.
Got you. So I got
I
so I
gotta
got a
put. I gotta
question.
push back. I gotta push back on that because what
Sure.
we
Okay, go ahead.
seen, what we seen lately is the first thing these motherfuckers do learn is our laws and how to exploit them. So they may not know how to speak English, but they know how to exploit our laws. Because guess what? We are teaching them that. They may not speak a lick of English, but they know how to exploit. So that's the only thing I see that what's wrong with our laws is
Well,
they're allowed to exploit our shit.
well, isn't also part of the problem that we have our native people who are here that also don't know how to exploit the law? Again, I think it's
That's a
I
good
think it's
question too.
I think it's a detriment. I think it's a detriment that, and I think it's really discouraging when I see and I hear a non uh, native speaking person come here and they know more about what happened in our nation and our history more than the people who are actually born here. That people are still struggling on just trying to get pat. Literally, there was a young lady I was watching on a video some time ago, and she failed at trying to figure out who the first president was. She couldn't tell you what what number president that Lincoln was. She couldn't tell you what Lincoln did, what he was a part of. And yet you have people that come through here. it- Case in point, we have Americans born and raised who will fail a citizenship test. That's a problem. It's a major because it's a major contributing factor. That is why a lot of people who can come here can, not for nothing, outdo people who are natively born. And I will also tie that to the education system that we have here. Absolutely. But I will also tie that to the lack of ambition placed upon the individual themselves. It's a problem. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, I'm not going to
What?
disagree with you. I mean, that's actually the problem, and there's a lot of simple solutions. Simple solutions is make them like it here in Florida. Now, kids have to pass that same citizenship test before they fucking leave fucking high school.
I
There's
agree.
ways around. There's ways around this simple solution that we used to have that we no longer have. So when you take everything out of the school, that's why I think you should end the Department of Education. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not allocating the money in the correct way. They're allocating the money to administration and administration only, not for the actual schooling and the furtherment of our education for the kids. I just totally don't believe they're doing anything for the kids. But that's just
How much sense does it make that all these illegals can go to school in these public schools and not speak a lick of English? What are they learning? They have to be in school, but they don't understand what's being said or taught. So therefore, the schools are forced to go find and pay someone that speaks that language. It's wrong. Because let us go to, China, Japan, anywhere. That's not going to go that way for us. We're going to be on our own.
And the funny part about that you mentioned, Kai, like they're ecstatic when we know their language. They're happy that we put the effort in.
Yes.
When people who come here, we don't get ecstatic about them learning the language because why? It's not a requirement.
Right.
But the part of the question that I was asking is that if let's just say we did, let's say we knew that whoever's the next president 2024, whoever wins, that they say English is on the books. How do you believe that would aid in moving us as an American culture forward? Do you think we can find more things as on a common threshold? Or will it just be business as usual and now we just have an official language?
It's literally going to be business as usual, but they're going to have to put laws in to implement it too. So until they learn how to
enforce it.
Implement and enforce. Yeah. Okay. Until they do it like that, you will never know what it's going to be because we don't have it right now. So they would have to put in a law or something in it to implement to further bolster everyone here language need to be spoken as English. And until that happens, what are we doing? I mean, there's nothing we can do. You know what I'm saying? So, I think there's easy ways to motherfucking make sure people speak English. I mean, it's really simple. We just need to learn how to enforce these fucking laws, and like you said, implement them. So
interesting.
But that's everything. So that's just me.
Kingdom Minded asked a question, and she says, "Hey, Resla, how do we then hold Black Americans accountable? We know that they don't properly grasp it. I mean, that must be the English language, and yet we've been here. Blacks were given Ebonics. Basically, she's not right. She's not wrong, but." I don't know. Are we saying that we don't move away from it because we're just lazy, or because the Kingdom Minded thing? The thing that I've heard is that Blacks hold on to Ebonics and even try to expound upon it is because they don't have an official language because they were robbed of their actual language. That's the excuse that I hear.
Well, even Ebonics is old broken English. English. It's not
all it is leaving letters out of words.
No, it's not what it is. It's literally, what is it? Scottish, broken Scottish words. The lower, yes, that's all it is. These are lower English speaking motherfuckers who didn't. It's white language still. That's what most people don't understand. Ebonics is just old white language.
Well, also, it's hard for me. It's hard to hold Blacks accountable for the kind of language when we have already done the thing called code switching. Because it's not like they cannot learn the language, they don't know the language. They refuse to ditch Ebonics altogether. They will use proper language when they're on their job and they're getting their paycheck. But they refuse to ditch Ebonics altogether once they get into their neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, what they call it, code switching or whatever they call it, shit. You know, it's like when I get to work, I know how to properly talk if I want to. Do I? I still speak. I still am me. I'm not gonna change it for a lot of people. So
It might be hard to hear, Resla. It just started pouring down rain.
That's cool.
fun time.
I can hear you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that needs to be considered across many. Because here's the funny part: even though you have multicultural land that we have, and we have multiple people that show up, I don't really hear anyone else talk about Ebonics. Now, if you want to talk about, trying to understand someone who speaks just a particular accent, that's different from them trying to have their own particular dialect. That's a different thing for me. But even in the time that we are in now, what is the proper reason to hold on to it? Because even in this case now, if you want to learn, let's just say if blacks wanted to learn the language that they used to, whatever, they can pick one out from Africa and study it and then teach it. They could do that. Pick your favorite one, become a freaking teacher, and freaking teach blacks. Hell, throw down to Umar's school project. Throw that as a curriculum for Umar.
So you don't believe that Ebonics is necessary, period?
So for Ebonics to be necessary, it would have to be effective. It's not. Because one, it doesn't hold on to anything positive. And this is my opinion, but it doesn't hold on to anything that would, it's, first of all, it's not a particular, it doesn't hold on to a culture. It doesn't put anything into a code where basically only particular people can know, because anyone can learn Ebonics. Because why? It's still based off English. It's not a whole other language that someone else has to decipher entirely. It's not. Now there's a difference between Ebonics and slang. They're not the same. They're not. Every culture has slang.
You're absolutely right, because no one speaks on Ebonics. Because Ebonics would have to have different words, not the same words based off of English language. Ebonics would have to have its own fucking subset of words, which really they don't have. It's just broken English.
Wait. What is it? Hold on. It's been dubbed the AAVE, African American Vernacular English. That's what Ebonics is being dubbed as now. I've never heard that.
That's sad.
I don't
That's
think that.
crazy.
I think that's because they didn't separate the slang part from what you're talking about. And
Well, the thing, OG, about slang is that slang is always updating. Slang
It's like
changes over
Hawaii.
time.
It's like Hawaii. Hawaii has the Hawaiian language, and then they have Pidgin, which is
Right.
broken kind of slang Hawaiian. But they have the Hawaiian. They call it two different things,
yeah, that's why I
and
agree
they're
with that's why I agree with Resla when he say that slang and Ebonics are two different things, because
yeah.
one of them is derived, like you said, from the tone of English, and both of them really is. But one of them is, to me, is uh the pronunciation of words as you say them. So
Yeah.
if you ever watch
Except
Stay Tuned,
pronunciation.
yeah, the pronunciation. You get it out. And you get where I'm saying when I say that, because if you go watch certain shows, you know what I'm saying, they enunciate their words the right way. You go to spelling bees and stuff like that, but then if you go to certain shows that I watch where they do hood slang, you know what I'm saying, and they have you to spell it. You spell it the way that you say it, and that's different from the English
Right.
lettering because you do, you know what I'm saying, solid, and some of these letters is not there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I before E and stuff like certain it's certain rules that you have to follow with the English. You know what I'm saying? Vocabulary, but when you doing certain slang, and even it goes like I say, that's why I don't never say it's the difference between white and black slang because white slang is the same as black slang. They say it how it is, how they spell it, how they say it, and it goes from rednecks to nigga. It's the same
I
way.
agree. Hmm.
It's no difference. But when you go to talking about this ebonics and stuff like that, that's something way different. But I know for sure that in the college world, it's in books. Because I know because one of my friends brought a book to me, asking me that I know where this word derived from, and I told him I don't know where the hell did he get that from, and he told me to go look on this site, and it had all type of shit on there, and these niggas was taking classes for the shit, and I was like, what in the hell is going on? But again, this is the type of shit that you run into when you got this culture that's we say is woke. It's really woke, bro, because they make that type of thing something that's private. How would you say that word? Did I say that word right?
I didn't hear it. I
I,
didn't
I'm
hear what
sorry.
the
What,
word
what,
What
what
was.
Yeah,
word?
I ain't about to say it. Don't worry about it. I ain't about to say it again because I know I said it. Sound like I said it.
Oh, wait. Prevalent?
There you
Prevalent?
go. Shit. God damn.
All right.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That type of
Gotcha.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the end of now right now. So if I ask you, do you believe it's necessary? And you gave me a good example about it, and I agree with
Interesting. Uh, do me a favor, guys. Just how do we believe that we're going to be able to move forward? So something that got put up was the code switching part is because people are basically afraid of being called an Oreo as such. The issue that I have, and I agree with this, but the problem that we have now is that almost anything is considered being called white. You going to college is white. You reading is white.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
well,
knowing
that's
math
because
is
they're
white.
stupid.
Right.
That's because they're stupid. I watched a video yesterday, right?
Right. Give
It's
me a
not
moment. I'll be right
Amari.
back.
All right.
No. You could talk. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I watched a video last night, and I might play it when I come back, or when because it don't look like we're having a game the way it's raining right now. Um, I watched the video, and it wasn't Amari, whatever his name was, that did it with. It's just an updated version of can black people get a fucking ID or people of color? And it just shows you that from year to year, it doesn't change with these woke people that they think that black people are fucking idiots. Like to the high extreme of idiocy because we we have never gotten over we always look into the rear. And I heard this one analogy, and hopefully I can find it for tonight or tomorrow, that said that black people are no longer going to look forward. We're always looking back to consider that we are. What?
The Bucky's over there?
Yes, that's where I go golf. See the golf
Oh,
parkway.
yeah.
That we're always going to look back and to consider us to be stupid because we could never move forward. And it was something like that. It was brilliant the way not the white woman, the black woman put it. And it's just the same way. Listen, hopefully I can find it. It's in my videos, but it just baffles me that to this day you still have these other immigrants, these people that's been here, born in America, that are of other ethnicities. That's how they think about the average black person. And it's amazing how they think we're just that fucking stupid and we can't. Oh, they can't afford to get an ID. The $2 that they can scrounge together. Do you think they want to get an ID when considering the IDs are free?
you. Yep.
But then when they ask them where they, like, what makes you think that? How did you hear this? Whatever. They'll tell them it's black people that tell them that. But it's the higher up, like whether they're on a talk show or on the news or in an article or whatever. You've got those random few that are constantly being the victims saying, "Oh, I can't vote because I can't afford an ID," but that is not the majority. And it's annoying that people still truly believe these things.
To this day. So how do you combat that?
It's, it's,
Start
it's,
punching these motherfuckers in their throat.
Oh,
you
Jesus
can't
Christ.
you can combat it, Tom, but the problem is they're gonna keep on pushing it. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
I know that was the reason why I pretty much said, because ain't no one gonna walk up to people and punch them in the throat. But still, the point is, it's just that people gonna believe what these elites think. Well, elites think for them to say, and then it's pushed in these schools or these colleges to make sure that all the black people, they're stupid. They're over there. Black people over there are protesting for Palestine. Palestine don't give two.
I told y'all that.
But they said it's something that they need to fight.
Oh, maybe not.
You
I mean, we
don't
went
fight.
through a dead zone, so
Yeah, that was
You
big
good. You
cutout.
good. You good. Yeah, you don't fight for nothing, bro. That ain't fighting for you, bro. And them people over there ain't fighting for you, and that's the thing. That's why I don't, bro. That's why I don't watch the news, bro. Because I told y'all I used to be an avid news watcher, bro. And when they showed politics, I turned the channel because most of the stuff I was looking for was, you know what I'm saying, like stuff that was happening in my local news. You know what I'm saying, like stuff that was happening around me. But what I noticed was just me going out doing certain things is certain things that they didn't show. It's certain things that they didn't push, and they always push that same narrative of what you just said, bro. I ain't. I went down to certain places, bro, to go get certain things when I lost IDs or I lost my wallet or something. You know what I'm saying? And I go get everything, and they telling me, "Oh, you gotta some." I'm hearing people say that you gotta pay for this stuff. I'm like, Tom, what the hell you talking about? You got to pay for when I just got it for free? But you steady push this shit and you make people sound and people make themselves sound stupid, but it's the other people that's pushing it too. So it's a whole subsection of people, bro, that's doing this shit. It
yeah,
comes from both
and it's
sides, bro.
just yeah, yeah. I
They
don't.
That's the
they
fucked up
know all
part.
they got to do is make a victim sounding story, and it'll spread like wildfire. They know that already. Whether it's the news or politics, they know that's all they have to do, and it can sound so stupid like this does. It sounds idiotic because it takes a simple Google search or asking a question of someone to find out it's the truth and that that's a lie. But they don't. They would rather just carry on the lie than find out the truth,
That's because
which is
people have went
weird.
through. That's because people, like you said, is don't want to. They don't want to learn anything. Just like people, they gonna tell me, "Oh, I got to give me a social security card before we can, before I can bring you all my information so you can hire me." I was like, bro, why would you do that? Well, they said if I called online and my mom and them told me that you gotta, they just charge you a little bit. I say, bro, everything that you want to get, bro, just go down there to your social security. They giving the motherfuckers out for free now. They just telling you to sign up, bro, because they got these problems with everybody else coming in. Why would they charge you when they ain't charging these motherfuckers? When they giving motherfuckers, people coming there saying that they somebody else giving them niggas fake social security information and shit so they can go do what they need to do. Like, bro, believe me, they not charging you for this shit. Birth certificates, bro. Go to the goddamn hospital, bro. What the fuck are you doing? Stop. Oh, you got to do it online. It's only working online. Okay, bro. What? Well, tell me why I had another person who really wants to work go up there and go get his, and they gave him his for free. But you telling me you got to call this number and they're gonna charge you $45 so you can't do it? Okay. Well, in that case, that's what I'm saying. They speaking the same. It's one and the other. You know what I'm saying? Both of them is making a story up that's not even true because people won't even go out and seek the information.
For themselves. Well, that's an issue that we have a lot across the board. A lot of people are not curious enough to figure out what's actually available, and this is the issue that I know I brought up on panels before in reference to. I get it that some immigrants come in and they are given aid, they are told what's available, but there are those families who have already been here for a while who are immigrants who learn the system, they learn what's available, they learn what grants there are, but yet you have so many people that were natively born here. I mean, let's just say outside of Native Americans, because they get incentive for being on their land, you know. But there are people who are here born here and everything, and they don't take advantage of a lot of the grants and other scholarships and things that are available, because the excuse that I always hear is, well, I didn't know. Well, when were you going to be curious? If you noticed that other people were coming in and they were getting grants, and you can get grants for almost anything. You can get grants for being a midget. Why wouldn't you turn around and take a look to see what was available for you? It's just a matter of curiosity. Don't look for someone to tell you something. Even if even if you go to seek and you find nothing, the action of getting up to seek was worth it. Because now you can confirm and not just say, I guess. You know for sure what's available and what's not. You don't have the excuse. That's just the way I look at it. But to go on this point where we were going, when Kingdom Minded mentioned about the accountability when it comes to Black people, and in reference to this damn talk when it comes to English, do we? I don't even think it's really going to change much if we made English the official language, because I think the people in the community, the people that really want to hold on to things like Ebonics, will dare to always try to be different, because it seems like when it comes to community, I'll say that more, the image has always been the biggest thing ever. It's never been really about being effective and about real progress. It's about looking good, not being good. It's about looking like you got it and not showing that you got it. I always tell people, show your work. Don't just talk to me, show your work. Where's your examples? If you're talking tough, I need to see your work. And too many people just want to point the fingers, or will say, well, this person did it. And I say, yeah, but we're having a conversation and you were the one that said that you're doing good. Show your work. I'd like to see it. And
Yeah,
people show up really short.
most people ain't gonna do that, Resla, because it's a self-reflection thing. They got to see themselves in the mirror for them to do that.
But they see
So
themselves as fakes.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what stops most people from doing it. It's just
I,
the aspect of seeing themselves as a fake.
I say the same thing all the time. You want to be the person who keeps buying lottery tickets and one day hope to be a millionaire, or you want to be the person that works very hard to be an actual millionaire? These armchair quarterbacks who want to sit there and tell you how to win the game, never played a day in their life, never prep for anything. Like, it's easy for you to talk shit versus someone who's in the gym, who's on the field, and actually going to be the person who hoists the trophy.
That's a fact.
Where's your results?
Most people
Where's
ain't
your
want
work
to sit in their
ethic?
life.
Right. You can run your mouth all you want, but I think actions speak louder than words. And we've come to a point where, and I could just get into social media and how all that shit is just totally out the door, but that's a battle that I don't think we can fight for a while. But this ideal that people in the world won't take the opportunity to improve on themselves. And I'm saying it in reference to the people who come here and they don't learn the language of the land. Because if again, if 2024 someone gets elected and their first thing, whether Biden's reelected or whether Trump's elected, whether someone just comes in last moment and kick them both to the curb, whatever. If they just said, starting the new year, English mandatory. If you don't know English, you're losing your job because English is the required language. How many people are going to be screwed? It's a question for thought. How many people that we know, since apparently we are a nation of immigrants, which we're not, there are plenty enough Americans who are in here day in, day out. I get that we have immigrants who
Um,
come here, but no.
I don't. Would how many people be affected? I don't think
No.
people would care about how many people be affected. If you implement what you just said, motherfuckers gonna have to put up or shut the fuck up. And that's what we're saying. Like that's what OG said. Put your mother. Hey, we need to learn how to start stepping on the necks of some of these motherfuckers. That's the problem.
Mm.
We don't have that fighting spirit no more. We're into the comforting spirit right now.
Like, oh, Mary Sue is going to lose her job because she can't speak English. Everybody around her needs to be like, so what?
Yeah.
So what? Go learn English then and come back when you know English. Like that's the bottom line, the way it should be. Not,
Hmm.
oh, let's feel so bad for her and give her welfare and food stamps and some cash. But really?
Her name was Consuelo, okay?
Because we don't take care of our own. Never mind taking care of other people's people.
Well, when you don't take care of your own, but you take care of other people, that's where the problem
Yeah,
lies.
that's what I mean.
And that's where you find that. That's where you find that forever victimhood in certain people.
And see, the next thing I'm gonna ask Resla, what'll be the standard of that, sir? Because, like I say, we all agreeing on the same thing right now.
Mhm.
Only thing that we haven't talked about is what standard of that will be implemented for those who needs to learn how to speak the English language. Because again, you got Corsuela, you got old auntie, you got, you know what I'm saying, people who don't even speak this type of shit that we speak, and or we can even say to come out our mouth. They don't understand it. They don't know what these words mean. So you're talking about just teaching them something so they can know it, or having them
Well,
embedded in their head so they can understand what they're saying. Because, like I
no,
say,
I would have it be the law of the land, which means that yes, I wouldn't say immediate kick out the door. There needs to be a process to give people a chance. Again, this is the land of opportunity. Um, but you need to meet the same way how we turn around and say, like, when you need to do a re-up on your freaking visa, or you getting this deportation, like the same way how you have a certain amount of time before you are not gainfully employed anymore. And I kind of go with the sentiment of what Miss Raven's saying, and that's basically ease people into it. 5 years. I don't know if 5 years will enforce it. I think the sooner the better, because people drag their ass. Let's be honest. If you if any person gets dropped off into a just dropped out of a fucking helicopter or airplane onto a land that they didn't understand, you can learn any language in 1 year.
Our citizenship should
You can literally learn any language in one
be the other
year and
language
enough to
ever.
survive. If you fell in Japan
Conversational.
tomorrow,
Conversation.
by next year, the same day, you should be able to get by on a conversation. You should be able to speak. I didn't say you have to be fluent, but you need to be able to get by. And I yes, instead of you having the broken English,
Right.
saying that you've been here for years, talking about your papers and your passport, you should be able to speak well enough.
okay. Well, see, that's why I was asking the standard, bro, because I'm thinking, was you saying, so basically you saying I need at least a third grade speaking level.
And keep in mind, I said speaking. I didn't even mention reading and writing yet.
Reading, yeah. That's what I'm saying. So you just saying you
Just
need at least I can understand, like at least third
correct.
grade full sentences. You know what, the dots and the parentheses, and you know what I'm saying. You know your quotations and shit, so we can understand. Which I get what you're saying. No passport, no pay. Okay, I get you. Yeah.
Because again, here's the thing. I'll go back to the scenario I made earlier. Say your building's condemned. You're afraid to go look outside because, quite frankly, you're worried somebody's looking for you. But there could be a fire happening on the fourth floor. You live on the first floor, and somebody's knocking on your door to try to tell you. You open the door, and you're like, "I don't speak English," and you're closing the door on them, and they're just like, because you're a liability, because you cannot communicate. You are a liability. In fact, if you're not one to, then we'll move forward. If you can't speak English, you can't read English. So that means when you're looking at signs out in the street and you never bothered to learn the actual law of the land, the language of the land, you're not even going to point to people to say, what does that say? Because you're a shut in. And you've had your comfort zone because all you've had is TV. I think that when something like that should happen, the first thing they should do is cut off things like Telemundo. You get Sesame Street.
Yeah, that works.
Because we've made people too comfortable. We've given them a reason not to do something. We provided too much ease. We've given you all the reasons not to do something. Hey, you're here in a land of opportunity. Take advantage of it. But when we gave you shit and said, you ain't got to get up. You don't have to be productive when I don't know anyone who comes to this country not to be productive. You're a liability, and we need to force you to be a member of this country, of these United States. Because it's expected of the people who are here. And again, we're privileged. We're entitled. We're expected to work. So how dare you come here and you think that you should hide among us? It's insulting. I get it. You want to take care of your family members. Again, what if you're an older person or whatever? They have to learn English. If something happens and you're not around, if you guys get separated, if this happens to be your housewife or your house husband and they can't commune without you, how 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 much freedom do they really think they have in this world? In this country? How much freedom do they really think they have? They can't get by. It's something for people to really consider. Why wouldn't you do something to benefit yourself? I know if let's just say I became a house husband, I got picked up by a chick in say Spain. I go to Spain and I don't know, I'm learning the language. I don't give a damn if she has to be the one to pay for it. I'm learning the language. I'm going to that class every day. That's just the way how I look at it. It's not a power imbalance. I don't want to be a liability. And if this person who I'm with is also the person who speaks a lot of land, why is it we can't learn to do that together? Why can't we both now have a conversation within the same language? Because that means I also have to rely on you when we go out. You have to do everything for me. Why wouldn't you want the freedom to be able to do things for yourself? That's just my thoughts, though. Why are parents calling their kids in sick on the I mean, because one, I'll say this. Parents, a lot of parents, and I don't know if you want to put it on the workforce or whatever, like parents are not really as involved as they used to be because quite frankly, work keeps a lot of parents away. For one, you have to keep your job and the way how the workforce is right now, it takes advantage of people who work. Like companies really take a lot of advantage of people who work. They don't give them the amount of freedom and luxuries that they need because the expectations is that they put in 120% for a minimum, even to do the bare minimum, they raise the bar, but they're not really giving people their fair due. And let's be honest, a company does not care about your well-being. The people within a company might value you, but with the big turnover that we have in the workforce now, people don't really get the chance to build that kind of relationship because everybody's running in and out the door. It's always a new face that you're coming across. So parents don't really have a lot of time to invest in their kids like they used to. I'll just be honest with you. And not everybody can pull their kid out of school because you a lot of parents still don't trust the people they need to be around. Kids can't really be at home with strangers. You know, it doesn't always work out that way. That's from my point of view based on the way how I've seen the world. Um, I know if parents could be home to take care of their kids, some parents would take the opportunity to make sure that their kids were taken care of. But I know between the parents that have to work, um, and whether they are single parents or whether they are even they're dual income parents, they have to work in order to in order to meet those thresholds. And also because let's be honest with you, not all those parents are savvy. Maybe they were. I mean, you don't have to be the smartest person in order to have a kid. Just be honest. We know plenty of kids that are smarter than their parents because of that same education system. unfortunately. That's just the case when it comes to a lot of people. And a lot of people, like, you don't really hear about stay-at-home parents, because when you do, they're out in the suburbs somewhere, or they're within a state that can actually pay for that kind uh, uh, of low-income housing. I don't mean like Section 8 or anything like that, just the lower standard of living. It's hard to do in a metropolitan area. And I could be wrong on that. I would have to do a little bit more research, or someone can send me the numbers. I'll take a look at it. But I know it's not as easy for a lot of people. And of course, think about it this way: the standard of education has diminished so much. Imagine you as a millennial parent, and the education has already dropped so much. And then if you wish to teach your kids, education has already dropped so much when it comes to them, that kids are only reading on a freaking fourth grade and third grade reading level, getting out of freaking high school. It's like, ugh. And then imagine those kids when they become parents. Imagine what the education system might look for their kids. So even if you were to take your kids to be at home, and you wish to homeschool your kids, you have to have income in order to be able to pay for an appropriate teacher, because you can't do the job yourself. Which means if you can't do the job yourself, you're not really effective as a stay-at-home mother or father to be able to educate your kids, because you don't have the proper education yourself. So why wouldn't you turn around and work to pay for someone to educate your kids? But then you're back to the same dilemma. Who stays at home to watch the kid? Because you don't want this stranger in your house. It's a weird thing, because we're not even very trusting of people watching our kids because of the way how society is now. We're very much not trusting, but we have good reasons for that. We don't even trust our own families because we have good reasons for that. It's a big thing. It's a big hit. And I don't know how we're gonna get back from that. Families are not as close as they used to be. And depending on the kind of community that you're in, families are even smaller. So it'll be a tough thing. CCD, you said what? Going back to middle school, there's no way. Well, no, there's no Einstein. Yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about that. And the pronouns, I'm not gonna get on that either. That can take us down a whole other thing. And again, you have that, couple that with what I just said before. These new people getting out into the world. They're being adults themselves now. They're the ones who are also having kids. No education. You have all this other stuff that's happening, all the other wave of the new culture, the new way to look at each other, and then expecting to have education. No, there's definitely something going on that's putting us on a downslope, and it's meant to be that way. But that means only the people who are able to pay for a better standard of living are the only ones who can do so. And I don't believe, this is my personal opinion, but I don't believe a lot of people are really invested on making the sacrifice to ensure that their kids are better off, because they're too busy either being selfish or just trying to skate by, just trying to survive. I don't think a lot of people are really in the position that they wish to want to be in. I don't think a lot of people are willing to say, we are willing to just eat ham and cheese and stack up our bread and just stay in this rinky dink place for our kids, because they just want to be able to what? Give their kids the best life. But that means you can't have it both ways. Sometimes that means you have to sacrifice. And not for nothing, here's another part of the sacrifice that people don't want to admit. You may have to put yourself in a position as a parent to be the bad guy, to look like you didn't give your kid the best life, and hope that all the sacrifice that you make, they will see in the future, and then do a roundabout to appreciate you. You're right. I didn't get the Jordans I want. You're right. We didn't get to go on the roller coaster. You're right. There wasn't many family vacations. All my friends got to travel. All my friends got to do this. And I never did. But to turn around and say, I made it to a point because of all the money that you invested, all the time that you invested, that I was able to go to a good school and get a good job. Because I turn around and I see what you gave up. I don't think there are a lot of parents who will do that now because we have a mindset that we want to just do me. And I say that more about the younger parents, not necessarily like the older millennials or even the Xers. Like I don't see that with them, but I do see it with a lot of the later millennials and even these Z's that are coming up. And it's sad. I don't know how we can change that. And of course, they're turning around and blaming the older generations. And I'm gonna have a video that talks about that. But outside of that, I want to thank you all for being here. Yes, we're going to round about this and make an end of this. I want to appreciate you all for actually showing up. I don't know when I'm going to do the next stream. It will be something next week, but be advised that I will have 2 videos that are coming out next week, and then I will then apprise you guys of when I'm going to be doing my next live stream. Of course, you know I'm going to be doing this on Saturday, but if I do something later on in the week, I will try to give you guys a head up. Maybe I'll put it in the community page, or I'll mention it in other platforms that we've been on. Thank you guys for actually showing up.
Resla,
Also,
hold on. Hold
uh-oh.
on.
Yes.
No. When you post shorts, videos, any live, anything at all, make sure you tag at me, at my channel, at his 2 channels, at OG. Tag all of us
Okay.
with the at, with the at symbol, and it'll come up and let you type in whoever's
Yeah.
channel it is or whatever, because it'll alert all of us
Yeah.
to remind everybody to go like and listen and all that. Because if we don't get notifications for some reason, we still know about it.
Okay. I mean, thanks for letting me know that. I wasn't even considering that. That's cool. Oh, thanks for the tip.
Just thought of it because the notifications are so stupid.
Oh, yes, they are. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, by the way, guys. Oh, that's a car thing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. So, by the way, guys, OG, I believe OG is still doing a stream today, right? I think it's at 7. So OG is going to be having something. So just be on the lookout for that as well. And if, of course, if I have time or anything, I will be there as well. I want to thank everybody who came up on the panel. I know OG, Tom, Kai, as well as Mama. Thank you for showing up as well. We're just trying to make this a better situation for everybody. Of course, I'm going to be coming up with many things to talk about in terms of topics. I do like to turn around and take a look at these videos again and see what I can glean to try to make something more concise for you guys in the future. Thank you everybody who came onto the channel, as well as those who were in the chat. Thank you for communicating with each other. I love how the dynamic everything is going. We're going to be building this together as we've always been doing, and it's a step-by-step thing, but the growth is going to be worth it. Thanks a lot for being here. And of course, you guys stay opinionated. Till next time.